Can I let you in on a little secret? If you're still manually sending proposals, chasing signatures, or onboarding clients through email ping pong, you are doing way too much. That's why Kendra and I created the Dubsado Decoded private podcast series just for bookkeepers like you. It's totally free, it's only 7 episodes, and it's in a private feed where my systems expert, Kendra Courtney, and I walk you through how to create a seamless, automated client experience using Dubsado. We cover how to simplify your onboarding, boost your confidence, and actually impress clients from day one without spending hours on admin. And yes, it's free, private, and bingeable in under a week. And starting July 7th, Dubsado Decoded the course will be on sale until July 13th. So head over to ambitiousbookkeeper.com/Dubsado to get access and hear about when the sale goes live. Again, that's ambitiousbookkeeper.com/Dubsado. The link is also in the show notes. I know you're going to love it. Hey, and welcome to the Ambitious Bookkeeper podcast. I'm Serena Shoup, CPA, a mom of 3, and I've been running a virtual bookkeeping business from my home since 2017. You are in the right place if you are a bookkeeper, accountant, or an accounting student, and you believe and know in your heart that your purpose is bigger than sitting in a cubicle. If you're ready to learn some actionable tips and strategies for starting and growing your accounting business, then I hope you stick around. Welcome to a bonus episode of the Ambitious Bookkeeper podcast. This is actually the live recording of an interview with Alyssa Lang, the workflow queen, and myself at Wave Seattle, a small micro conference for women in accounting that one of our lovely community members, Erin Pohan, put on this past May of 2025. And so I had the honor of being on stage with these two ladies and recording a podcast live. If you want to see the video version of this, make sure you head over to YouTube. It will be on there as well. So without further ado, let's jump into the episode.
We're the only ones putting pressure on ourselves. Allow yourself the opportunity to open up to people so that way they can come and support you, because naturally humans do want to help other humans. We're not all mean, terrible people. We want to help.
Whether it's your team, your family, and if you don't have that, ask for it.
I wanted to build community with women, and this is the reflection of that.
It doesn't have to be the same group of people that support you in all areas of your life. Like you said, everyone has different strengths.
Welcome to the Ambitious Wave Queen Show. I am Erin Pohan, and I have the tremendous honor of introducing today's guests. And what's really fun about this is that it's a roast, and they don't know it.
Heck yeah. I'm here for it.
I'm just kidding. But they did ask me to introduce them as I know them, and this is just such an honor to do. So I'll start with Alyssa. Alyssa is the woman who introduced me to dancing unicorns across my Asana screen. If you don't know, she has a whole program that helps anyone really understand the workflows that you can build in Asana. And I was so fortunate to find her through Serena early on when I was building upkeeping. I remember from my first experience with Alyssa, that's what I'll call it. You're an experience.
Thank you.
You guys had a live Facebook chat during one of your workshop calls.
During COVID.
Yeah, during COVID. And all of a sudden, here's Alyssa with so much energy, and she's so passionate about what she does, but she's so fun about it. And so I really appreciated that. And so over the years, I've quietly watched what she's been building. I've followed along, and we hadn't talked a lot, but I think a lot of people here can resonate. We're lurkers, right? For a long time, we lurk and we watch people and we follow them. And next thing you know, you're in Seattle and you're hosting a podcast together. So I really value the way that you lead your life. You are all about removing yourself from what you are building so you can live your life while it's supporting you. And that's so amazing. And you drive your 4Runner around the world or around the country in your RV. So you're just gold. So Serena's my mentor, if you all don't know. I was working for a bookkeeping firm in Bellevue. The owner was a self-professed really good salesman. And so they would attract clients that were not my ideal fit. And one day I was just scrolling Facebook and then happened to see ambitious bookkeeper join my 3-day workshop for $27. I'm like, steal. Let's do it. So I mean, those, what are they called? Sales funnels?
Yeah.
So good. Because then I was like, oh, I can upgrade to VIP. Okay. So I did that and I had no idea. I had no intentionality of starting a firm until I went through those workshop programs. And what it really did for me was it didn't just give me the tech stack. It didn't give me the communication I should be having with my clients. It opened me up to community. Truly, it did. And so, and what I've loved from the early videos, I think almost every live session you did, one of your toddlers would like barge in the background. And first of all, you never apologized about it. Second of all, you laughed. You're like, this is life. And I really appreciated that. And what you did was you opened me up to a community, and you also opened me up to the person in the office next door. So when I have questions, which was the biggest mindset limiting belief for me, was who do I ask when I have questions? Serena was there, and I'm sorry. No. But you were there, and because you were there, others were there too. So really, this is a reflection of that. And so thank you both. And with that, I would love you to share your biz bestie story.
Serena's taking that one.
So I'm actually an introvert, and it was very not my style to be the one to reach out, but I came across Alyssa on Instagram through either workflows hashtag or accountant hashtag or something along those lines. And she had her like wild pink hair and a microphone and tattoos. And I was like, this girl looks so cool. I want to be her friend. And we were both doing the same thing and just kind of starting out being mentors in the community. We had been in business for a few years at that point with our own firms. And I saw her post and I was just like, hey, I like what you're doing. I'm doing something similar but different. And I think it would be really cool to just brainstorm together, bounce ideas off of each other. And sorry if this seems weird, but you're cool and I want to be your friend.
It wasn't weird, just so you know.
And so this was right at the beginning of COVID. And so we started getting on Zoom calls and brainstorming how we could support our industry, what we could collaborate on, and just sharing the knowledge back and forth with no expectations. And then a few months later, I was in Arizona. We had moved from California, and, you know, the world was shut down, except not really in Arizona. So I was like, hey, you should come hang out. We should meet in person. And so she came out to Phoenix and booked a hotel room.
Oh, so what happened was I booked this hotel room. It's actually a really funny story. And it was the first time me and Serena had ever met in real life. And like Zoom will never do, as you all know, will never do justice of what you can get in a person experience.
Truth.
And I was like, okay, I'm in charge of putting the hotel rooms because I love controlling things. So I want to make sure it's all set up right. And I could have sworn I booked 2 queen beds, but we get there and I accidentally booked 1 king. So we get there and I was like, the lady we're checking in, she goes, yeah, you have 1 king. And I was like, no, we've got 2 queens. And the lady's like, no, you have 1 king. And I was like, well, we're just really going to get to know each other on this trip. And yeah, we trauma bonded that night. Just too many cocktails at the bar. It was a whole thing.
So yeah, that was the other thing. And this came up after the last panel of like how to really connect with your biz bestie. And like, it does take putting in the work. We did schedule Zoom calls. We created a space and carved out time to meet in person. And when we finally met in person, all the digital facade falls away because you're now in real life. And it's not that we had a facade up, but it's like, now I know I can trust this person. Like, they're here physically with me. At the time I was going through, I was realizing I was going through a very toxic relationship. And so that's what she's talking about is trauma bonding. I unloaded on her. And she was the only person in my life, even though we only knew each other for like less than a few months, She was the only person in my life that knew what was actually going on in my life. And that's why we're so close. We trauma bonded.
Yeah. And now it's evolved. And 5 years later, which is crazy to think about, like 5 years later, like now we're here doing, we like to joke around and say, because her company's Ambitious Bookkeeper, we're Workflow Queen. We call ourselves Ambitious Queens. So like, it's kind of taking the two names together, and it's just kind of evolved. And also the community as well, like loves when like we do the Alyssa and Serena show on like our podcast and we bring it up, and people are always reaching out to us. Like, how do I do that? Because that's like so big for us, is cultivating this space for people to find their people, because it's hard.
Yeah.
It's a lonely world.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. And I just love the way you guys share openly about having that person.
Yeah.
And I truly hope that that is something, if you guys can just take away just a connection from here, like that is the goal.
Yeah.
So with that, I do have some questions. Before I get into my questions, I just want to remind everyone we have the Mentimeter up. The code is up there. We've got some questions rolling in. All right. So the code is a little small, but it is, oh, you can scan the code. Perfect. Thank you. All right. So before we get into those, I have some selfishly relevant questions, hopefully. So, all right. So what is one thing that has surprised you about this industry now that you've dedicated so much time to it?
I think the biggest surprise is that I literally thought it was all about like scaling, doing, being, making money, doing all these things. Like the more that I've talked to so many people, we have like thousands and thousands of people who like come through our programs, and people in general just in our world that aren't even like in our programs. And the more I recognize, like it's nothing about business. Everybody just wants connection. Obviously, we also want to make money and all these other things, but like the deep inner root is never like the top line strategy, because I can hand every single person here the exact strategy, but there's a reason why we get stuck. And I've realized that 90% of the battle is literally your mindset. And if you don't get your mindset right, you will go no further than you currently are, because like what mindset brought you here is not going to be the same mindset that's going to bring you to the next level. And for me, like that was a big shock, because I was like, I thought it was just strategy and do and like get shit done. And then it's like, it's really not the reality. And like how many people are actually like, I know that Liz was sharing earlier on stage, like how lonely it can be. It truly is a very lonely space to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not about money or just money, like as the money bros would say. So, yeah.
Yeah. The thing that surprised me the most is that people in accounting are actually fun, and not all of us do want to like work our butts off. A lot of people really actually do want the flexibility and are doing it. So don't fool yourself. You don't have to, kill yourself through tax season. There are ways of doing it differently and still making the money that you want and having the time with your family. And so that was the biggest surprise for me, that I wasn't the only one that desired this. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how have you navigated being a business leader when personal setbacks occur?
I'll take this one. Yeah, I know you do. Life is lifing for me right now. Let's just say that. I had a mental breakdown yesterday at breakfast, like literally crying. Like life has been weird, but lately if anybody listens to my podcast, I know a lot of you guys who are here know who I am in my podcast. I paused it for 2 months, and it's mostly because like I'm going through so much stuff like internally, like these battles that I'm dealing with within myself, that like I just decided, as much as there was so much pressure around me of like people are looking up to me and they're expecting something and they're this and that, like that's the story I told myself. Nobody expected anything from me, and like taking that pause was really, really like so needed for me, but it's been really, really rough. Just doing that alone has like been so good for me. I've been able to take a step back. I took a step back from all my programs just so I can just like get some space for 2 months, and we come back June 4th, and I'm really, really excited about it. But like when life happens, like I always just want to remind people that like it's okay to get rid of that little thing, like get rid of this. Like we're just putting all this, we're the only ones putting pressure on ourselves, but like life is hard right now. But I will say, like, seriously, having Serena like is such a gift. I have like my biz besties, like Brooke and her, like it's just, they're such pivotal people for me in my life, because when it does happen, I want to be able to cry. Like when my first anxiety attack I ever had, I called Serena and I was sitting on the floor. She's like, sit on the floor outside. It was like freezing cold, and I was just letting it out, and she didn't judge me. She didn't stop me. And like, for me, like it's so lonely and it's so overwhelming that like life will happen. Like it's not a choice, like there will happen. And when it does, allow yourself the opportunity to like open up to people, so that way they can come and support you, because naturally humans do want to help other humans. Like we're not all like mean, terrible people. Like we want to help, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. How have you navigated being a business leader when personal setbacks occur?
Well, I've had a lot of, like you just learned, I've had a lot of personal setbacks throughout this whole journey. One of the best things I did was, I did have a team supporting me, but allowing them to support me, not just people in my personal life, but like allowing people in your company, if you have a team, letting them take things over and having grace with them and letting them make mistakes, letting yourself take a step back and give yourself grace. And yeah, you don't have to know all the answers and be perfect. You can show up in your imperfection and life will still go on. It's just accounting.
It's just
No one's going to die. No one's going to die.
No fires in accounting. I repeat, no fires in accounting.
But you have to allow the people that are around you to support you, whether it's your team, your family. And if you don't have that, ask for it. Hey, bookkeeper friend, ever wish you could binge only the podcast episodes you need right now? Whether you're diving into advisory work, looking for quick Q&A wins, or craving a little student spotlight inspiration, I've gotcha. We've curated themed Spotify playlists for the Ambitious Bookkeeper podcast, so you can skip the scroll and get straight to what matters. Tap into strategy sessions, leadership gems, and more at ambitiousbookkeeper.com/Spotify. Pop in your earbuds and hit play on your next big move.
All right. So tips on finding your biz bestie.
Be your weird self.
Yes.
And other weird people will show themselves. And like, if you just like let it all out, like at the end of the day, like they get to decide, like, but I'm not going to stop myself. And like, I grew up being told like, you're too loud, you're too much energy, you're this, you're that, to the point where I believed it for so many years and for growing up. And then finally, like in this industry, I allowed myself, even as like someone in the accounting space that is brightly hair colored with lots of tattoos, like very different in the industry. I used to get hate comments all the time from men on Facebook and like just people like, oh, Alyssa's too much. And so like, and it was so exhausting for me. So like, I just say like, just be yourself. And I almost like, I used to wear like more blazers and more things like while I would do stuff because I thought I wanted to fit in. That's what everyone else looked like. And that's what they're doing. I want to be accepted. And then one day I was just like, F it, because I don't think I could cuss here. F it. I'm just going to be me. And like, I just started to attract like people just like me. And like any of you guys who are in any of my communities, you all know we don't have anybody who's a crappy person because I just don't like that. I just refuse to allow people in that. So I think for me, just be your weird self and other weirdos will love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll second that. And also, like, you are going to have to put yourself out of your comfort zone. Like I said earlier, I'm an introvert. That is not my style. I've told a few people this today. I wear loud, obnoxious clothing to conferences so that other people will come talk to me. I don't have to initiate.
All right. Any more tips?
Get out of your comfort zone. Be yourself because you can't hide yourself forever.
Yeah.
Those are the main things. And just, you're going to have to work on cultivating it a little bit too.
Yeah, and give as much as you take. That's a big thing, especially in this industry. If any of you guys have been like in a networking group and sometimes it feels very like take. Everyone wants to sell, or work with me. I really do believe that like you have to give as much as you're getting because there's a lot of moments. Like I've met so many people that sometimes like take a lot from me where I want the energy there to be like very much like back and forth. Like there's times when she's going through a lot, like in business or life, that's like, it takes a lot. But for me, I know that that's going to be taken back. It's just like going to dinner with someone. If you're with someone who's always like, you get the check. Next thing you know, you're like 10 times, dude, you were not friends no more. That becomes a problem here, you know?
Yeah. Actually, I had one more question that I thought
Love
of before we get to these. What's your favorite conference besides Wave?
Wave. Oh, yeah. Is this a trick question? Well, BKX, but it's no longer a thing anymore. So I really liked BKX only because they had a lot of integrity like you do when it comes to like cultivating a certain space. And I always felt like it was just such a good experience to be around so many people that were just all on the same page.
Serena? I know it.
I would have to say ZeroCon.
And why, Serena?
Because it's actually really fun. Like I've been to two other ZeroCons before this one last year, because that's where you are going to meet the accountants that are different and like more fun, and all the cool vendors.
Yeah.
Shout out to the cool vendors. They're all gone.
Oh, yeah. She thinks I'm just going to leave it there, but she was on stage singing at the last ZeroCon with Scotty Scarano. So there's that.
Yep.
All right, so let's get to it. Thanks, Christina. When building your personal board of directors, do you have multiple boards be part of your life, like motherhood, business, etc.?
Yeah, in all parts. Yeah, I have a shout out to Karen. I know you're not listening to this because that'd be weird if you were. But she's my energy healer lady. I don't even know what to call her because that's all I know her by in my life. I have her. I have other people. I have like my friends. I don't know who I was talking about to this earlier, but it's okay to not have one friend that serves all parts of what you need. That's why we sometimes, like, yes, I say best friend, but like I do have like 5 best friends. They all serve a certain like purpose. And it's not that anyone's bad or not good in a certain thing. It's just like, I know that we can connect on like a deeper level than this person, or like this person over here serves more of like the motherhood. I don't have kids, but like, she's just kind of like my mom. So like she gets it with certain things. So for me, my personal board of directors is just anybody that comes in contact that like I know can take me to the next level. But sometimes the people that have been in my life, this aren't my best friends because they're here forever. And sometimes they're not always there to serve me forever. They're here to serve a purpose in this current moment. And sometimes I have to like self-develop. Like Karen, I've been leaning on a lot lately because of just what I need for myself. So for me, I do have them everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't really have like I don't have like a board of directors. I don't really look at it that way, but there are people in different pockets of my life where I lean on them for different things, right? So obviously Alyssa doesn't have kids, and while I love her, it's a little different with a dog. Like
that is my child.
Your dog doesn't talk back.
He does, but not in the way that you think.
So I have other friends who are mothers, or like my family that support in different areas. So it doesn't have to be the same group of people that support you in all areas of your life. Like you said, everyone has different strengths, and you can have various and little groups of people, boards, I guess. I've never looked at it that way, but
it's a little professional.
You're my board.
You're my board too.
I wanted to add that I've got I don't know if you guys know Marco Polo app, but it's like a video texting, and I've got a group chat with 4 of my best friends I've had since middle school. And actually, hold on, I'm going to just put them on the spot really quick, and I'm just going to do a little. So we call each other U5. So hi, U5. You don't know this yet, but you are live in front of all these ladies.
Love it.
You're going to watch this probably tomorrow, but it was a great event.
Love that.
We have chatted almost daily since 2019. So they are my board of directors for so many things, and they have 4 completely different opinions, and it's great. And sometimes we are really different, and it's always good to have that fresh perspective.
Yeah.
2 people today, and many in other groups, said they want to hire but aren't ready. How can I offer to intern to help them now so that I can build experience and confidence for my own bookkeeping biz?
Quick question. Who is this? Don't be shy. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, who did this? I love that for you.
Yes.
This is how you put yourself out there. Shoot your shot. That's awesome. I love that you did that.
So anyone who needs help,
here
Amber.
you are.
Her name is Amber.
I know. We're so excited for you. So my big thing is like, I think there's a generosity that comes from like having real conversations, just being like, what do you have going on? Like, hey, I heard you on stage. You were talking about this. Like, I genuinely would love to support you. And like, I don't know what that's going to look like. I'm sure you don't have an answer now either, but like, can we just exchange contacts? I think that comes off very like with integrity, and it comes off with in a way where it's like, I genuinely want to help you, but I also want you to know that I'm being transparent. I have my own firm, because that's big for me. We don't hire people who have their own firm just because at the stage that we're at in our firm right now. But I do believe there's a lot of people in here who could use that fast support. And I know you're freaking awesome, and I know you're wicked smart. So like, I can only imagine that a lot of people here. So if you guys aren't all jumping to get her contact,
I will vouch for her.
Yes. I will come after you.
Serena, do you want to add anything?
Not really. I think that pretty much sums it up.
Oh, thank you so much for coming to Seattle. What has been your favorite part of your experience so far, and what do you hope for Wave in the future?
I think that's I was like, well, what do you hope for?
Yeah, I
waves?
want to know what you
So
want.
before you answer that though, earlier this morning at the beginning, we were sitting in the back and I was like, imagine like 5 years from now, this is like a 4,000 person conference. Like, I bet you could do it.
Yeah.
If you wanted
I
to.
know you could do that.
And we were here for the very first one.
Yeah, like all of you guys are literally here to create this experience.
The inaugural.
Yeah.
You made it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just hope for continued authenticity. So whether it stays 65 to 70 or 4,000, which that would be, we'd have to get real strategic how to keep it connecting, you know?
Future Erin problem.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Like, I want this to be a yearly thing, whether we keep it in Seattle or I get to like go travel to places to, you know, scope it out on the on the company's time. Exactly.
Those are my favorite.
This has been a beautiful day, and I can't wait to do it again. So that's my answer.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Erin. So awesome.
How about you guys?
What's been my favorite experience? I just love talking to everyone. Like, I love meeting. Also, like, I love being able to meet people I don't get to meet in real life, because all I see is little Facebook profile photos. Little circles. I'm like, show me your Facebook profile photo and I'll know exactly who you are. Like, it's really nice to actually be able to like hear people, and like there's such a different level of like emotion and like what people actually feel and what they're experiencing. And that to me is always my favorite part of any of these types of events. I have ADHD and I can't sit still for very long. So like I have to like roam and walk, but I'm still here. And I always like having those conversations on the side, or when people like come pull me aside. Like, I just love hearing that. So far it's been just the connections.
Okay, I'm hearing more dance breaks in the future.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes. Love that.
Okay. We've got more. To what extent do you see the accounting community embracing CAS, so CAS, client accounting services, and which part of it challenges them most?
Well, this is one of those things, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but if you're doing bookkeeping, I can almost guarantee you're doing CAS, but it's like a language situation between the bigger firms versus like our boutique accounting firms. Like, we're doing CAS, but I don't call it that for our clients. Yeah. So that's one of those words that I'm like, that's throwing me off.
Yeah.
But what part of it challenges them most? I think the CPA firms are trying to embrace CAS, but we are already doing it as bookkeeping firms. So I'm having a hard time with that question.
Same.
I think it's hard to name it because that's placing more value on you than you might want to claim sometimes. And I will say, with AI, that's going to free our time to be more in the CAS space, because all the mundane recurring tasks can get automated, and then you can really focus on driving that value for the client.
Advisory.
Being in the same industry in so many facets, how do you balance collaboration over competition in your friendship?
Oh, well, there's so many different ways that this is like in a good thing. Well, one, my firm specializes in QBO. Her firm specializes in Zero. Fun fact, we serve the same niche. So we serve course creators, creatives, coaches in that space, some e-commerce clients as well. So a lot of people are like, how do you guys do this? Like, you're literally competition. We serve in different ways. I'm like quite loud, if you've ever heard me. She's quite like the chill, like mellow person. So like it's different strokes for different folks, like 100%. And I think too, as well, like even like with us in the accounting space with what we do at like Ambitious and Workflow Queen as well, is we're kind of doing something different, but yet we're serving the same community. We don't really have any overlap. Yeah. If we do, she somehow has ran it by me. Like, there's been situations where she has system stuff and she's like, hey, and I'm like, you could do whatever you want, but like, thank you, I really appreciate that. And there's times when like I bring something in and I want to run it through her as well, but I don't think I've never
viewed it as competition, although Alyssa is highly competitive.
Very competitive. I'm a very competitive person.
Like when I was like, I'm launching a podcast, she's like,
I'm doing it too.
What else was it?
Lots of things.
Yeah. Literally anytime I'm like, I'm doing this, she's like, how do I
get it? I'm going to do it too.
Let me get in on that. But it's all in good fun. And I've never viewed her as competition, and never viewed anyone out here in the audience either as competition, because there are just so many businesses out there. Every business owner is different. Our personalities are different, and there is no competition. So I've always viewed it that way.
We're even like considering getting rid of the bookkeeping side and like just outsourcing it to her firm, because we're going full advisory and full strategy on our firm. So that's another thing, is like now it's become more of a partnership, but like we don't know what that's going to, we're not trying to figure this out.
We just started talking about
literally like 4 days ago. So we're like, is that a thing now? So for us, like there are ways to even like collaborate sometimes. Like you might just be offering the same thing, but it's like, do I even like payroll? Like, do I even want payroll? Like, I don't think it's competition, because at least I know it's being to a trusted person. Plus, like I know that she would never take a client. Like even if like they were doing the same thing, like in some way that we overlapped, like she would never just be like taking them, like and being sketchy and doing weird stuff. You know what I mean?
It's all about trust. Yeah,
I trust her.
As a testament to what you guys are saying, I know you guys often get together for like collaborative sessions where you're both working on your individual next things together, and I love watching it as like the consumer of it, because then I get an email from Alyssa and then I get an email from Serena. I'm like, oh, okay, this was what they were up to in Arizona. So that's been really fun to watch.
Accountability.
It's accountability. Usually, like, by the way, guys, if I don't know if anyone's into human design, but she's a generator and I'm a projector. And I always thought my friend Brooke reads like human design, and she would always tell me, I thought it was Arizona. I thought every time I went to go visit Serena in Arizona, I just like got so much energy. She was like, no, this whole time it was Serena. Like I naturally just plug into her. And like literally, so like I'm literally on a 3-month trip right now in Arizona, just because I'm like, I'm gonna plug it all in for the rest of the year and I'm gonna get it all done and I'm gonna do it now. And she's all about it. Like she just, and I slow her down, because usually she's very much like a workaholic.
Sometimes.
How do you encourage your team to stay productive while working remotely, and what do you do to hold them accountable?
Well, one of my fabulous team members is back here in the audience, Tia. She has been with me nearly since the beginning. So if you followed my journey, I used to talk, I still talk about this, but I would talk about how I hired my first employee when I had 5 clients. That's her. So part of that is, and I had this gift in corporate as well. My team are loyal people to me. And so I don't know if that is probably the product of my hiring, but I have a deep sense of intuition about people. And I also give them the freedom to do the work, and I'm more results driven. So it's like, as long as you hit your deadline, I don't really care what time you work, and I'm available to them. I do try to unplug. I treat them like adults, because that's what they are. Everyone is an adult. We do have our workflow systems in place, so that's what keeps them accountable. And most of the time, if things are falling behind, it's just a conversation like, how can I support you? And nobody needs hand holding if you are finding the right people.
Yeah, totally. I think the working remotely part is like one of the hardest parts for us, even as like the owners as well, is also our team is probably struggling just as much as us. So I always like to try to infuse in our team when we're hiring them, like, this is how we operate through Chrome. This is how we like jump through things. Cause I think a lot of people weren't taught how to be efficient, and it's not normal. So for like working remotely, like I share with them my schedule. I have a team member, her name's Mackenzie, and she's been with me for like 4 years now. And she's amazing and incredible, but man, she's like, I want to be there at 9 a.m. and be done at 5. Like that, she's so like strict with her schedule. And I'm like, that works for her. But other team members are like, I kind of want to log in here and I kind of want to log in. And I'm like, that's fine. And I think working remotely, we just have to give people the ability to say like, what do you need that works best for you? But as far as accountability, definitely the project management system. I mean, that's going to always help. The other piece too is like clearly stating your expectations. I just had to do this. Someone was talking about earlier, like, you have it so together. I'm like, if you only understood like, the things that are happening behind the scenes. But one thing I just recently had to do was restate expectations with one of my team members. And I went through a whole deep dive for hours just on my computer and Chad. I call him Chad, which is ChatGPT, guys. So his name's Chad. So me and Chad were going back and forth, like just going through like the expectations, because at some point, something was broken in my conversation with my team member and they weren't receiving it. And then like I messaged it to her, and like before I left, and while we were driving here, she had slacked me back and she was like, this. And I read it out loud. I was like, damn, I didn't even realize I didn't give her these things. I didn't give her those, but I was yet expecting this. And so for me, with accountability comes with the expectations that we have as a leader. I see this a lot in the industry where people will just hire people and be like, well, they know bookkeeping, so like they should just be the best. Oh, they're a tax preparer, they should just know everything. They don't know your firm. They don't know your way of doing things. And I think like being able to be clear to say like, I've messed up and not given you everything you need. Let's re-onboard you. Let's have a new conversation. Yeah. And that's how you keep them accountable. It starts with you. It's not them.
I resonate. So much is around just trust and then
Yeah.
communication.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I am guilty of being like at midnight, oh yeah, I forgot to share that, right, Jillian? That's my girl back there, one of our 3 team members at Upkeeping. And yeah, so that's one of my like work in progress for sure. So that was a great question and great answers.
Also, we love it when give your team like the leeway to also hold you accountable.
Yes, they babysit me.
So it's
all
like
the time.
managing up as well. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like, hey, I still need this from you.
I love
Yeah.
that you said that because like one of the conversations was around pricing and Jillian was like nudging me. Like, you hear that?
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Love that.
So many people talk about having referrals being their new client perspectives, but you hear so much about social. Is it really worth the time? Ooh, can I? I'll answer this one.
Yes.
Wave is here today because of social. I have met so many of you today because I decided a year and a half ago to start showing up on LinkedIn. So for me, this is all a testament of, yes, you all took a chance that this might have been Fire Festival or Fire Festival 2, and it was not. But I was just a girl from the internet, and you're all here. So yes, that is my answer. Social absolutely works. Whether you are looking just to connect with other people in the industry or look for your clients, but guess what? Once you connect with other people in the industry, it opens you up to so much opportunity and so many more connections. So when you want to host an event and you throw it out there and people are like, I want to sponsor, I want to speak, I want to support this. How can I support? Your prospective clients are looking at that.
Yeah.
And they're going to see what you did, what's happened, and they're going to see, oh, wow, she's very active. They're real and they take their role seriously and they're making a difference in the accounting industry. That's someone that I can trust. So that's my answer.
Totally.
Yeah.
I would agree. They go hand in hand. The referrals, that is my main source of client acquisition as well. But because there is a social presence with the Ambitious Bookkeeper brand and with my firm, there's social presence across both of them. Like that shows your authority or whatever in the industry. But also when you get a referral, people are still doing their due diligence and looking to see if you have a presence online. So you do want something. Does it need to be every day? No. It does not. You don't have to be on stories every single day. You don't have to post every single day, but have something up there. Even if it's what they call now a 9 grid, where it's just 9 static posts on Instagram or whatever, so that you have something up there and also your website and everything works together. I don't know how many times I've had a client come through a referral and then come to me and say, I was referred to you, but I went and looked at your website and then I went to your social and then I found you on LinkedIn. I Googled you and you were like all over the place. So I knew you were real. It still matters.
Yeah. I think I'll contradict this a little bit.
Love it.
I do agree with Serena though, like having just a presence, you don't have to be consistent with it. And the reason I say that is because like some people here probably have construction clients.
Yeah.
They're most likely not going to be on social, like looking for your bookkeeping firm. Like I'm not saying don't create a social media account, but I'm just saying that sometimes it doesn't matter for the type of clients that you're working with. Like our clients, because we work with a lot of course creators and coaches, they are living in Instagram. Like that is their life. I'm not going to be on LinkedIn because we tested LinkedIn. And that's my other thought too, is don't just do social media just because everyone else says it. Like test it. Why not try LinkedIn? Try this. But if you try it for at least 90 days is my big thing. So try for 90 days. If you're not seeing anything, and I'm not saying there's always a direct correlation when you're doing stuff. Like you said, it's a presence thing. We land a lot of clients from Instagram, but like I said, they're living there. That's what they do. But it is great for like authority building. It also is really good for like credibility. It's good for like the firm. But I will say like you don't need it. And like that pressure is just yet another new shiny thing. So whoever said this, we're not judging you, but this is shiny object syndrome at its finest right now. Mostly because like we all think that like this new thing is going to solve this, but what's the really big issue that you're even thinking about considering social? Is it because there's a lack of clients coming in, but maybe there's other ways that you can bring them in without needing a social media? Because it's expensive. I know we share the same social media team. Like they're not cheap, but they're freaking good at what they do. You know, so why put all that money into it when maybe that effort could be speaking on stages, like pitching yourself in podcasts and hiring a VA to pitch you instead of like trying to be on social because everyone else is. You know what I mean?
Every strategy works. It's just a matter of how much time or money do you want to invest. Social media can be free, but do you have the time to invest it? Or networking in person, that's free, but do you actually have the time? And what do you enjoy doing? So, and then of course, where are your clients actually hanging out?
Yeah, that's good. And just really being aligned with what goals you're actually trying to achieve, because if it is trying to attract more people in the construction industry, like you're absolutely right. And that's so much time and pressure that maybe is not needed. Like it's also okay to just not have socials, but have a great website and have great communication and that like real human touch point in the beginning. We're going to do rapid fire and finish in the next few minutes. One of my struggles is not knowing what I don't know. How can I continue to learn and educate myself? And what communities can you recommend that I can lean on? Ask a CPA, Nancy McCullen. There's a couple communities over here that I know of. So yeah, you guys want to share those?
No big deal.
No big deal. I think it's just finding your people. Different strokes for different folks. Not everybody likes it a certain way, or they like it. Certain people, they resonate with someone. I would always say before you try to just jump into like working with a coach, or even like for me, I always tell people like, just because you heard about what we do, I might not be your cup of tea. What we do might not be. So I would say like, just take a step back and say, you know, what rooms do I need to be in that's going to get me the end goal? Because sometimes learning for me is like personal stuff. So like, what's the end goal? Like, what are you trying to accomplish in that space? And earlier what I touched on, which is like also give just as much as you take in whatever community you put yourself into.
Yeah.
You can't just like take and expect that people feel that energy for sure.
I would also say it depends on what you're trying to learn. Are you trying to learn a specific type of like niche or bookkeeping, or are you just like, there's so much I don't know, I just want to be exposed to it? I have my Facebook community. It's the Ambitious Bookkeeper community. I do a live Q&A every month, and that's a really good place to just start. It's free. Just attend the live Q&A and you'll get exposed to all the other questions and issues people are having. Yeah. So maybe that's just like a dip your toe in type of thing. But otherwise, maybe you're also just kind of distracting yourself and you just need to put your, boots on the ground and go out and get clients.
Yeah. Once again, what's your goal? And then find the best community to fit that goal. I've been thinking about niching down, but I'm having a hard time choosing one. The usual advice is to pick something you love or focus on your favorite clients, but that hasn't really worked for me. I have nothing to add. I'm not niched.
There you go.
Yeah, you really
here's your permission.
You can be successful without a niche. Niche, whatever we're going to say here. I think that a lot of people put this pressure on themselves. It's just like the social media thing. It's like, we don't have to. And also, just so you know, a niche does not need to be an industry. And I think that that's where the biggest confusion is. It could be a woman. It could be someone making a certain amount of money. Like, it does not need to be an industry thing. It could be like, I just don't work with bad people. Like, that could be your niche. Like, it's just a matter of the way you're messaging it. That's the most important piece.
All right. Our last question. I'm feeling pretty burnt out. Amen. And need to reignite some excitement for my business. How did Stella get her groove back? Laugh out loud. Seriously, though, how do you push through those phases and find your spark?
Step one is you already did it because you're here. I guarantee you're going to go home and you're going to be reinvigorated at some way and be able to refocus. Events always help me with this. And I always go into them. Usually I end up at an event right around burnout. Like,
just want to like bail out of it. You're like, I'm so burnt out. I don't want to go.
Have committed to this. But I'm always glad that I stayed. And I don't usually ever go to events like, I need to get the answer to this question. I'm there to receive whatever it is I need to receive. So if you attend things with that kind of an open mind, you'll get the message that you need. You'll get reinvigorated. So good job for showing up.
Yeah.
Also, lastly, you do not have to push through. That's the biggest piece, is we always think we have to push through. We really don't. Like, it's okay. I'm a testament to that. I paused for 2 months, and that was the best thing I could do for myself.
I just fired my largest client, and that's really hard. And we'll see what that looks like in a couple months. But I was way burnt out, and it was not healthy, and my health was being affected. So, And I wanted to add on to your point. I call it the conference afterglow. After every conference, I want to take away something. 2 years ago, I wanted to hire interns and really give back to that. And that's been so great for upkeeping changing because now we have Jillian, who was an intern and is now one of our employees. And then from Bridging the Gap, I wanted to build community with women. And this is the reflection of that. So yeah, just like go back and think about what is your conference afterglow from Wave? Like what's going to change in your life or in your firm, whether you want to be really specific or really broad, what's going to change because you were here today?
And the last thing on that is don't, like you said, this is the same thing Alyssa said, just different words.
Love it.
You don't have to push through. Allow yourself the time to relax because you're not going to get out of burnout until your nervous system is reset. And that could take weeks. It could take months, but you have to allow yourself the time and don't overthink it. Don't try to wake up every morning like, oh, I got to make this happen. I got to get out of this burnout. Just rest.
Yeah.
Just go home and rest, whoever you are.
Yep. And I booked 3 vacations. So there was that.
Love that.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we are at time. So Serena, Alyssa, this was so much fun. Thank you for being here and being willing to share and be open books for all of us. And we will see you all at the next wave.
Thank you to everyone who helps make this podcast possible. Content and interviews are produced by me, Serena Shu. Our intro and outro music is written and performed by my brother, Ian Gilliam. Editing is also by Ian using his awesome sound engineering skills along with Descript software. Hosting and publishing is by Buzzsprout. And you can check out the show notes for links to all of these amazing resources and resources mentioned in the episode.
Be ambitious.